Every rhythm, rough and kind, the dance of our connection begins in echoes that move through skin and soul alike. There is something ancient in the way we align, your breath finding mine, your hands tracing truths I've long hidden beneath polite silences. You press against the tempo of my thoughts, and in that friction, I find the music I've been missing. Each touch is a chord, sometimes gentle like the brush of a breeze across bare shoulders, other times fierce like the clash of thunder, raw and unrelenting. You do not just touch me, you speak in textures, fingertips that memorize me, palms that challenge and claim. I respond with an openness born of hunger and history, hips rolling into the notes we create, spine curving toward your melody. We are a song unfinished, yet already unforgettable, syncopated with desire and laced with both reverence and abandon. This is not just pleasure, it is poetry in motion, where language is unnecessary because the pulse between us speaks louder than words ever could. I meet you in rhythm, rough and kind, and surrender to the lyric of your body. We do not ask permission as we move, your hands speak questions, and I answer in trembles, shifting into your tempo, letting your rhythm fold me into its urgency. There is power in this cadence, something primal that beats beneath the surface of civility, breaking us down into breath, sweat, and the subtle poetry of skin pressed to skin. You tease out my responses like stanzas hidden in deep recesses, excavating verses with every graze, every grip, every thrust of motion. There is no room here for hesitation. Each moment begs for full participation, for the fierce honesty of need expressed without filters. My voice becomes an instrument, notes slipping free in moans and gasps, a harmony of reaction to your deliberate tempo. Sometimes you are tender, a lullaby whispered along my collarbone, and sometimes you strike like a drumbeat against bone, resonant and commanding. And I welcome both, the sweet and the sharp, the velvet and the flame, because each version of you, rough or kind, is a rhythm I crave, a pattern I ache to follow deeper and deeper. You draw circles on my skin like verses looping back on themselves, reinforcing emotion with every pass. There is something sacred in how you alternate between gentle brushes and forceful holds, like a composer orchestrating crescendo after crescendo, until I am nothing but the sum of your notes. My back arches into your intention, pulled by the gravity of your need and the promise of your restraint, unraveling. You know precisely when to relent, when to press harder, when to let silence fill the space between rhythms only to shatter it again with another swell of sensation. My legs part not just for you but for the rhythm you bring, the one that insists on liberation through surrender. I yield to the precision of your chaos, the unpredictable music of how you love, with improvisation and instinct. I find myself humming against your mouth, translating your tempo through lips and teeth, matching you tone for tone. We are equal parts composition and combustion, our harmony forged in friction, echoing into the marrow of memory. In this rhythm, rough and kind, I find home. You move like a verse that's memorized me already, each repetition of motion a line I know by heart that rediscover each time it's spoken again. My body becomes a page blank and trembling beneath your touch, every brush of your skin, writing declarations and desires with ink made of heat. You do not merely touch me, you read me, and then write over me, all at once. In the spaces between your movements, there is grace and reckless intertwined. You pull pleasure from me like a confession, slow at first and then faster, as if urgency itself were sacred. The pace shifts, soft sighs give way to hard gasps, and still I follow, chasing every new pulse you offer, every shift in rhythm that tells me something about who you are when words fall away. It's a language of hips and lips, of fingers learning the sonnets carved into my flesh. You strike a balance, your roughness never cruel, your kindness never dull, and I bloom under that care, unraveling in rhythm, surrendering willingly to this sublime contradiction. Even silence becomes part of our rhythm. The stillness between pulses is not emptiness, but tension drawn taut, a pause filled with aching anticipation. Your hands linger like commas, brief hesitations before the next surge of sensation, and then you continue relentless in your phrasing, confident in your grammar of pleasure. I feel every verb of you, every action embedded in a glance, a thrust, a whisper. You conjugate my name in every tense, moaned in the now, gasped in the past, begged into the future, and I answer with exclamation points in my hips, semicolons in my shiver. You move from stanza to stanza, never losing pace, sometimes gentle like love songs whispered in moonlight, other times rough like storms crashing through open windows. My heart beats in counterpoint, but your rhythm always draws it back in line. And even when I think I've caught your pattern, you change it, and I thank you with every nerve set aflame. For in your rhythm, both rough and kind, I am not just alive, I am rewritten. There are moments when your rhythm breaks me open, not violently, but with the devotion of someone who wants to understand the architecture of my soul. You trace my edges not just with hands but with focus, mapping the corners of me that most others ignore. I can feel the care behind your roughness, the kind of attention that bruises not to harm but to mark a memory, a boundary crossed in trust. And your kindness is not passive, it's fierce in its own way, refusing to allow me to hide behind masks or man. You see through every tremble, every sigh, every arch of my body, and you respond accordingly, sculpting our connection like a melody meant to be felt beneath the skin. Sometimes I think you hear my heartbeat before I do, your rhythm syncing with mine until I can't tell where I end, and you begin. And in that shared beat, rough or kind, we build something more than pleasure. We build sanctuary, a rhythm that reverberates through every part of me, echoing long after your hands have left. Your rhythm fills every room we touch, expanding into the very air between us. It isn't just in your hands or your hips, it's in your breath, your gaze, your presence. When you walk toward me, I feel the beat begin, and I ready myself like a stage before the first note. We crash into each other like cymbals in a symphony, the shock of it ringing in my bones. You kiss me like a verse already set to music, and I answer with my whole body. And when you hold me not just to take, but to anchor, I feel how your kindness is stitched into your roughness. You are a paradox that makes perfect sense in motion. In your arms there is force, but never violence, intensity, but never loss of control. You know the exact pressure that makes me melt, and the precise pause that will drive me wild. You play me like your favorite instrument, with reverence, with skill, with a yearning that vibrates through every inch of me. And I echo back in time, in rhythm, both fierce and tender. Sometimes your rhythm slows and I feel each beat like a tolling bell inside me, reverberating through marrow and memory. Those moments are intimate in a different way, not frantic or wild, but profound. You hold eye contact, and I see the truth of you, not just a lover but a listener, a witness, a force. You feel what I need, and without words you adjust, your body speaking fluent empathy. It's in these times that your kindness becomes the driving rhythm, slow and warm, grounding me like a baseline I can cling to. You press into me not to conquer but to understand, to explore the ache behind the arch, the moan behind the kick. Your hands linger longer, your breath steadies mine, and you make me feel like the center of every rhythm ever written. When it's rough again, when it builds once more into thunder and quake, I welcome it all the more for how you've reminded me I'm safe. In your rhythm, whether storm or sanctuary, I am claimed, not owned, held, not hidden. You are rhythm embodied, unpredictable and addicting. I never know if your next touch will be a soft exhale across my skin, or a grip so firm it leaves prints behind like signatures. And I don't want to know. The anticipation is a rhythm all its own, teasing me with possibilities. You teach me patience and urgency in the same breath. I ride your tempo like a wave, letting it carry me higher, further, deeper. Every time I think I've hit the crest, you shift, adding a twist, a drag of teeth, a thrust at just the right angle, and I spiral into new heights. My body sings with it, breathless and disarmed, utterly attuned to every nuance of your composition. Your kindness is the safety net I fall into again and again, while your roughness is the fire that keeps me burning. Together they create a rhythm that doesn't just take me, it transforms me. I am made more in each chorus, reborn with every crescendo, undone by each drop, loved fully in every note you write on me. When it ends, we are breathless, suspended in a silence that hums with everything we've just created. But even then the rhythm lingers beneath my skin, in my pulse, in the aching places where your hands once rested. We lie together tangled in the echoes, and though no words are spoken, everything is understood. You stroke my thigh with a tenderness that belies the wildness that came before, and I respond by curling into your warmth, letting my body remember you. Your rhythm has marked me, changed me, etched itself into the places where I hold me. I know I will crave it again, the way you alternate fury with finesse, pressure with praise. I will yearn for that balance, for the way your rhythm carries the honesty of need and the grace of affection. You've shown me that rough and kind are not opposites, but partners in a dance that leaves us whole. And so I wait for the next song, the next meeting of motion and intention, the next rhythm only you know how to play.